What's up, guys? Welcome back. I really haven't talked Robinhood since I made the video about how I was pulling all my stocks out and I was going to leave Robinhood behind. But I did say in that video that I was going to continue to use Robinhood for certain things, primarily options trading and things like that. And I've been a little bit hesitant to make this video because every time I make an options video, somebody calls me a YOLO or a gambler or something like that. But after the video that I just released, you see that my options plays and my spec plays are less than 1% of my net worth. I at least now have that video to fall back on after explaining this one. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to dive exactly into my Robinhood portfolio, show you what options trades I have open currently. I currently have about 11 options trades open right now. I'm going to review the poor man's covered call because I am using that option strategy. I have started buying more options. As you guys know, I'm primarily just a wheel guy, selling cash secure puts and covered calls, but I definitely have been getting more into the buy side of options. So I want to show you exactly where I'm at with that. I'm not going to tell you exactly why I bought the shares that I did or got into the stocks I did. You guys can do that research on your own, but I'll give you some little nuggets and some things that I look at when I'm thinking about these long-term plays and why I have calls out to 2023 in some cases and how I'm selling covered calls against those long legs. So let's dive down into Robinhood. I'm going to use the desktop version. It's a little bit easier for me to look at the desktop than it is my phone, and we will look at exactly what I got going on here. Okay, guys, here is the Robinhood portfolio, and like I mentioned, I have things on my watch list, but I do not currently have any stocks inside my Robinhood portfolio. If you do not have a Robinhood account, you can get one free stock, like put some money in, get a free stock, and then maybe move it. But I'll leave the link down below. You could check out that, Webull, anything, any platform you want to try. They're all giving away free stocks right now. But right now, no stocks. And as we can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plays in the options chain. We can look the portfolio really only valued at $6,330. So you are able to do this on a relatively small portfolio. And you might be saying to yourself, wow, Brad, you are not doing well. Wasn't a great day yesterday. It's currently Saturday. The markets are closed. Over the last week, I'm pretty much flat. But over the last month, up 13%. The last 3 months, up 48%. The last year, 77.2%. Really got this portfolio going again in May. We can see it's had its ups and downs. First, I'll talk my Dropbox call real quick because I did make a video. So this is kind of like a little update. If you saw that, it's the one with the thumbnail that says 3X. I talked about Dropbox. So far, I made that move on December 4th. Right now, it's up 23%. If I were to sell to close this option, as I mentioned, guys, with these long legs, this expires in January of 2023. I have zero intention on riding these out to expiration. I really have two goals, and most of them are still long term. I'm going to be looking at the market value of this. So essentially, I paid $790. Right now, somebody would pay me $975 to close that, and I would profit $185 or 23% in the course of about 2 weeks. I mean, who wouldn't take 23%? But I really am bullish on Dropbox. I still think it is going to 2x, 3x like I mentioned in that video. So I am not even going to consider closing this until I'm at 100% profit if that ever happens. So if this ever gets to 790, that's when I'll start to make considerations. But regardless of that, I really am not going to be looking to close this below 100% till I'm about 30 to 45 days out from expiration. Now, one thing I am doing with this is something called the poor man's covered call. And I'm not going to get deep into what the poor man's covered call is, but I'll tell you this. Essentially, I bought a very, very deep in the money call. Right now, the share price of Dropbox is $24. So when I say I went deep in the money, one of the metrics we're going to look at here is delta. Now, the long and short, layman's delta, really what that means is that's about what this represents as far as shares. So when I have a delta of 0.79, that is like me owning 79 shares. Now you're like, Brad, why not just buy 79 shares of it? Well, because I would have to pay $23. And if you do the math, 23 times 79 is going to be a hell of a lot more money than the $790 that I put up. Now, is there a risk? Yeah, there's inherent risk to that. If it goes and expires worthless, I'm going to lose that $790. I know that to be true. But one of the reasons I'm going to go deep in the money, all right, and I'm going to pick a strike price that's below the current share price, is something for intrinsic value. It makes my break-even price a lot lower. Okay, so if I take my $17 strike and I add $7.90, which is what I paid, that's where I get that $24.90 break-even price. And I'm pretty much right there, and I still have 2 more years to go. Now, what I'm doing with this, and like I said, back to that poor man's covered call, if I look at my portfolio, I look right here, and I have a sell. So essentially right here, I made a covered call against that long leg. That's essentially what the poor man's covered call is. I am going to collect premium on this with an expiration of 9/20/21, which is a little far out. People do the poor man's covered call weekly, all the way out. I want it to go a little bit longer, but I collected $42. Now, essentially, that $790 that I paid for my long leg, it now shrinks that down, and essentially I can get to a point where I've collected back on my covered calls all the premium that I put up. Now, can this get assigned? Yes, Dropbox could moon and it will get assigned, but essentially what I would do if it got close to expiration, I would probably buy to close that, even at a little bit of a loss, because this is pretty much going to be hedged by that long leg. So even if I lost a little bit of money to buy to close this, that would mean that it's mooning upward and I'm making more money on that long call. Now, just like all my option plays, I do not want this to get to expiration. I'm going to be, once again, be looking at this total return, and I'm going to be looking to close this anywhere from 35 to 50% return on profit. If it hits 50 tomorrow, closed. No questions asked. When it gets to 35, I'll kind of see where we're at with expiration. Okay, this is about a little over a month out right now, so we'll see where I'm at, but 50% is really going to be my cutoff. If it jumps and it goes from 35 to 65, yeah, I'll take 65, but no intentions of keeping this long term. Once I close that, I'm going to open another one, probably go a little bit up in strike, and I'm going to go a little bit out in expiration. Now, how did I choose this and how do I kind of stay safe? Once again, I'm going to use that delta number. I'm going to look for a delta on a strike that is below 0.3. So right now we have a 0.2. That's the likelihood that it's going to get assigned. And like I said, you can look at the Greeks and look in the delta. Maybe I'll do a video on the Greeks. But right now, I'm pretty safe to say at $28 with about a month to go in the current share price, it's a pretty safe bet. Could I lose on it? Yes. But like I said, I'm going to buy to close if it gets close. And once I lock in a little bit of profits, I know I'm not going to take the full 42. I'm going to sell to close, send all that back, and we'll be good to go. To finish out Dropbox, guys, like I said, very, very bullish on this. I also have a cash secure put on this with a credit of $105. I'll take that money in my pocket. I love it. If it does get to 20, right now it is below 24, so it's looking like I might get assigned to that. But once again, 1.8. No big deal. Dropbox is something that I would gladly pay $24 a share for because, like I said, I think this stock is going to double or even 3x in the next year or so. So now let's look at another stock where I have the exact same strategy and philosophies as far as closing and things like that. I have a long call that I bought. I have a covered call that I sold against that. And I also have a cash secure put because I'd have no problem buying 100 shares of this stock at the current price that it's at. That's Vuzix, guys. And like I said, I'm not going to go deep into these companies. You can do your own research. Essentially, they make smart glasses, and I think that they are going to be the next thing tech-wise over the next couple years. I know Google tried to do something with it a couple years back. It bombed. It didn't do well. But with 4G, 5G, I think right now this is a company that everybody should be doing a little bit of research on. So for this one, because the share price is so low and the premiums were so low, guys, I actually bought 2 of these at $400 each. My break even is $9. Once again, deep in the money. When I bought this, it had a delta of 0.84. So this was like holding 84 shares of this stock. I did it just this past week. I'm already up 4%, $30. If I wanted to, I could try to sell to close this right now, take the $30, be good to go. I paid $800. Somebody would pay me $830. Like I said, that's not what I'm going to do, but that's what I could do. Now, because I have 2 buys, I can make 2 covered calls, so essentially 2 poor man's covered calls. They're right here at different strikes, $11 and $12. We could take a look at the deltas if you want to see. That's 0.35, so a little bit more risky on the $12 call. The $11 one has a delta of 0.37. So once I said, a little bit riskier for me, but not that big of a deal. If it gets close, I will just buy to close those. And here is the put that I have. I got $85 credit for making that put on the 18th. Currently right now it is down. What that really means is that I got 85. If I would have waited till the perfect time, currently I could have got 95. But like I said, the value of this option is going to change over time, so I'm not too worried about it. Vail, I did not do a poor man's covered call. I just have two buy options on them. One that's deep in the money. This one has a delta of 0.97. So I really went deep in the money with this. $10 strike. Current price is $16. I paid $665 for that. Currently right now since the 16th, so in a couple days, I'm up 12% on that. $80 total. Big shout out to JJ Buckner for introducing this stock and telling me to do my own research, just like I'm telling you to do your own research right now. I watched his video on it, did some more research, did some digging, and realized that this is a company I think has the potential to really shoot up as well. Shoot up so much, in fact, that I also got $100. I made $100, paid $100 for this one. It's right now currently above what this one is. So this is not a in the money call. This is a long call that was out of the money, and that's why the premium I had to pay was so low. So a $100 bet. It has a break even of $22.97. Once again, that strike that I picked plus the 97 cents or 100 contracts, $97 that I paid makes it $22. So this one's probably going to be a little bit more of a bet. But once this value continues to rise, like I said, this is something with that long call, especially out of the money. Once this gets to about 50%, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm probably going to close this one and take the 50% on the $97, put $50 in my pocket. Happy day. And the last poor man covered call that I got going on right now is with the Tattooed Chef. All right, so this is a contract that has an expiration of 2022. So pretty much 1 year from right now. I paid $970 for this contract. I did it on the 18th, so this one's up almost 3% as well, $25. It has a delta of 0.81, so once again, like holding 81 shares of this. I think the whole like plant-based market, I think it's going to rise altogether beyond impossible. You see this Tattoo Chef, very, very small company. They're going to be going with that wave, I believe. And I think their share price is going to continue to go up. If we look, like I said, very new company over the last week, we see, I don't even think they've been around for a year. So they've been stumbling along around $10 up and up, and now we see them back on the climb. And I hope to see them up around here. And if that's the case, then I'm going to win on that long leg. And I sold a covered call against that contract right here. I collected $55. It's pretty even. I just did it yesterday. Not a lot of volume with this stock yet. Not a lot of movement. So this would be just something that I have to watch a little bit more carefully. This had a delta of 0.18. So at this strike price of $30, this was a very, very safe covered call for me, and one that might ride out to expiration. We'll see, and I'll put that entire $55 in my pocket. If you're curious what all these numbers mean here on the right, guys, people ask me that all the time. Like I said, that is the price as opposed to the premium that I paid or collected. So as you can see, all my buys, if I were to close them out, I would take $25, $43, $80, $185, and $30. That would be my profit. And then if I were to close all my sales, you see those are going to be a little bit negative. And that's okay. Like I said, the buy, they all change. The values of these, they change so much throughout the course of days, throughout the course of weeks, and even throughout the course of months and years in some case. But here's some stocks you can do your own research on. I also hold these inside my dividend portfolio. I'll be doing an update on that portfolio at the end of this year. But I wanted to get in and show you Robinhood and show you that, in fact, I was still using it. They've also made some great new changes, and I think they're going to continue to do so. I know they just got fined by the SEC. Like I said, that's going to happen to these types of companies under these types of microscopes. But they are making the changes, and I'm going to continue to trade options with them, especially at the low fees that they have. Until I see you guys on the next one, stay positive, work really, really hard always. Be kind to other people. Hope you have yourself an amazing day and an even better tomorrow.